So today we're gonna switch it up a little bit. There's a couple of things that are happening within the community of Linux, and instead of our usual formatting videos, we will cover this unfortunate or fortunate news depending on which camp you wanna side. So let's get into it. The announcement was made 3 days ago, and it looks like some devs are stepping down. And one of them, Hector Martin, also known as Markan, a lead dev, he said with a heavy heart he announced the resignation of Asahi Linux founder, which is Hector Martin. So in his blog, he goes into more details of what this happened, but apparently there is a turmoil within the community of devs where some insist of continuing the code on C++, while others are advocating for the Rust code, which actually made possible of the GPU's integrations to be much easier and the drivers. But keep in mind that this has been going on for over a week, but this announcement was made 3 days ago. You can read through it. Obviously, if you go to the official page of asahilinux.org, you will be able to find the whole article. But what's interesting is how the camp is splitting. And if you're in the community, or at least having a lookout of what's new, what's being developed, what the kernel is, so on and so forth, you will probably see two camps, and most of the times they are each other's throat. It is sad to say this, but when you have devs that really spend a lot of time developing this as a open source or a free software, however you want to look at it, it takes from their free time, and keep in mind they are not getting paid. Yes, some of them, most of them are relying on donations, and those donations are starting to become rarer and rarer, and it's becoming more difficult to keep up with the updates. Now, if we go to the actual post, um, we will see that he gives exactly his run through and how he started with this project. In the late 2000, he was a major contributor, right? And he started at the time with the Wii homebrew scene that work on software. People call them jailbreaks, and that allowed users to run their own unofficial apps on the Nintendo Wii. That was back in the late 2000s. And since he's a dev and he's passionate about his job, um, he was part of Team Tweezers, later Fail Overflow, and despite that, he ended up burning out primarily due to every large fraction of entitled users. Like any users, when it's a small project, you have a small database of users that are requiring help here and there or debugging. But as the project grows and the users are growing, they become more demanding. Like, how can I make this driver, for example, on an NVIDIA 4060 work on this specific Debian or whatnot? So users have becoming more entitled, which is a fact. But the thing that actually brought this to a larger scale, and later on, if you read through all of it, you will see that he mainly focused on the Apple release of M1. And as you can read here, he realized that he could make Linux run on that. If you're not familiar, there are a couple of ways you can make your own Hackintosh, and that project was also pushed and developed by a couple of devs, including um, Hector Martin. Now, the outburst and the burnout comes from doing the same thing, and he sacrificed a lot. But in an industry where you have a lot of devs, a lot of hard work being put, maybe not enough of money to sustain it, you're gonna have also growing egos, and this is applicable on any um, discipline, if you will. Even in IT, you're gonna have your seniors, you're gonna have your juniors, and then you're gonna have your lead team. Sorry, you're gonna have your CTO, and everybody has their own ego. My way is better. This way is better. My code is better. So all this is starting to become like a high school drama, which has been drama for years, but not at this level. So hopefully as end users, we will not suffer. But since two or three devs already stepped out, others replaced. So it's becoming like that Hydra concept: cut one head, two will grow back. I don't know if that's the case here, but it is a little bit worrying since they can't get to a consensus, and some of them are advocating that C plus is not enough to maintain, is becoming harder and harder to debug, and implementing some of the Rust features, at least for the drivers, would be more time effective, will reduce the time they spend on debugging or building the drivers or integrating the drivers. So the fact the fact remains the same. Like, if you guys are with the project, you'll probably know exactly where the drama is being covered by a couple of other YouTubers. It is sad that it's happening when we thought that Linux will, I don't know, somehow manage to compete this year with Windows and maybe Mac OS. But with this drama, I don't see it happening anytime soon. Even though Linux is one of the main uses, I mean, a lot of the servers on Google databases or the other Amazon workspaces are heavily relying on Linux code, and they're maintained through that. I'm pretty sure this project will not simply disappear like any other fail, but they need to, I don't know, they need to figure out a way where they can structure this and, have everybody being responsible. Well, I'm not saying they're not, but they need to have a chain of command, because this honestly is like kindergarten. No offense to any of the devs that burned out and they pour in their time and passion. And I know it's very difficult. I'm not a dev, I'm just a simple user. I'm using the systems to maintain, I don't know, a couple of servers that I'm using at my work. But it is sad to see this development. Now, announcements are keep on pouring, more updates are being showed. If you want to, keep be updated with what's going on, you can visit the websites asahilinux.org, and also you can visit I think it's a blog post. Yeah, it's a blog post that most likely will have updates. Let's see, when was the last update? Was literally 2 days ago. Let's see if there is anything else being said. So this is more recent. As you guys can see, it's an ongoing war, in quotation. I don't think it's a war, but they need to sort this out and, finish with this drama and start showing more compassion to each other, because at the end of the day, we are all human beings. We all do mistakes. We all have our, low point when we rage or we don't agree with somebody else's opinion. But as a grown-ups and responsible people, we should be able to, get to a consensus. But with all that being said, this is the update for today. Bit unfortunate for those involved, and could have catastrophical impact to the rest of the end users. But yeah, if any updates will be posted, you guys can obviously reach it out on the blog post or on the website. With all that being said, guys, it saddened me, but it is what it is, and hopefully with time we're gonna see a better, communication between the developers. So leave a like if you like the video, dislike if you dislike the video, and see you next time.